All right, here we go with part 2 of episode 40 of 84 Feet with Cady and Cap. We're recording this on the morning of the Martin Luther King holiday, January the 20th. So, we've all had a little bit of caffeine, I'm assuming, to, get ourselves all bright-eyed and bushy-tailed for this recording. Wow, it's Cap without a cap on. This is kind of weird. What's up, man?
No hat. Yeah, it's not that early. I guess maybe it's early for you. Not early for me, but
I mean, considering I woke up yesterday at 7 a.m. to drive to Queensbury. No, it's all good.
I did have an iced tea though to wake up. That helps. I don't drink coffee, so
yeah,
iced tea works.
Gotcha. I was able to go check out and work 6 games. Where it was a little Section 2, Section 7 crossover, and it was a good reminder for the interview we had for today because there were a few Adirondack League teams in there, and if I remember correctly, I think this is our first time having a member school of the Adirondack League on the show, and it's the first school I thought of out of that conference because I remember them getting to the state Final Four a few years ago, which we'll touch on at some point, and they are off and running this year. They are, I believe, somewhere around 2nd or 3rd place overall in the Class D standings, right behind Northville, right in the mix with Spa Catholic, who they already have a win in hand against, so that is certainly helpful come sectional seedings next month. But it's great to have Hartford head coach Jason Johnson and McKenzie, his daughter, and a junior on the squad, the Tanagers of Hartford. What's going on, everyone? How you doing?
We're doing well. How about yourself?
Doing good. First things first, I did mention the day that I had yesterday up at SUNY Adirondack, or I guess people still call it Adirondack Community College as well. So whatever you guys call it, I'm in with it. But I did get to see a couple of Adirondack League schools in Corinth and Lake George, and most notably, just want to touch on Lake George quick because you do have a 62-60 win, which I believe was at Lake George, if I remember correctly. We did discuss this, for a moment before we started recording, but just wanted to bring it up again. The general strategy involved because I know that they certainly have a nice guard on that squad. Pardon me as I'm trying to scroll down for the name. Micah Collier Fisher, and then Maddie Brennan, who's just a tall, essentially a point forward freshman who's still working on her post play, but mostly right now she mostly kind of plays from like 15 and out, really. What was this the general strategy that helped you guys get that victory on the road against Lake George?
Go ahead.
We had a shadow on Maddie Brennan the whole time. We mostly packed the paint, so they couldn't really drive. I did get a few layups off of us when we were in the 2-on-2, but overall, I think we did well in the 2-on-2.
Now I'm going to go back before you guys back. It would have been McKenzie your freshman year, and I only go back just because you guys had played before us at Averill Park. The one year you guys had played. Who the heck did you play? I don't know. It was a semifinal. The next game was going to be at Hudson Valley. So you guys were playing at Averill Park before us. I think it was
Salem.
Salem. That's who it was. And I remember like watching that game and being like, oh man, that was probably one of the best games sectional wise. You guys were just like taking shots back and forth at each other. I guess the interesting part about that season though, like that season didn't really go great in the regular season. I think you guys maybe, because I remember looking and I looked again this morning, but you guys were like, you had like maybe 6 wins at that point and 6-14 or 6-13 or something like that. And then you guys make it all the way to play Notre Dame Bishop Gibbons. And obviously, Coach, you're there, and obviously you always wanted to win every game. But McKenzie's a freshman. I'm sure your team, majority of your kids are still really young. What was that season like in terms of like building what you have now with your team?
The best part about the whole program the last few years is I've had all these kids since 3rd and 4th grade moving up. Unfortunately, every year I lose few of them. So it was pretty much, this is what we're looking to do. Let's move on. We ended up doing well that season. The following year, we went to states. Then COVID hit, of course. Then that messed us up.
Following year.
Was it the 2 years after?
It was before.
It's all running together at this point. And it's just what the kids give me in the preseason and the early on and wanting to buy in. It just, McKenzie, for an example, I brought her up in 8th grade with, I think I had 7 kids on the bench, 7 kids on my roster. That's the year we went to states, right? We ended up going against Spa Catholic in the final and took them, which her being my first year out had quite a few threes for us. Kaylin Severance was also first year up in 9th grade. Same thing. Those two came off the bench very strong. And as you can see where they are today, that's why.
McKenzie, just wanted to focus on you for a hot second because, your dad just mentioned being called up 8th grade. It's not too often anymore, aside from, random programs that are kind of hitting the reboot button. But, it's not very often we hear about 7th or 8th graders being called up to varsity, especially a team that's in the midst of a run like Hartford was having, getting to the state Final Four that year. How are you feeling about that call up to varsity when you did get brought up 3 years ago? And like, did you feel any, added pressure, like you had to live up to a certain expectation, not just because you were an 8th grader being called up, but also because, hey, look at this, the coach's daughter being called up. Hey, let's see what she's made of. What's anything like that at all?
I think there was a decent amount of pressure, not too much, because my sister was also up there as point guard, and knowing I had to fulfill her spot once she left kind of was pressure on me, but I kind of got used to it. There's not really much pressure. I mean, there's pressure, obviously, to score and stuff, but not, like, as much as there was.
Coach, this question for you, and McKenzie, you can chime in too, but so you guys are 8-4 overall right now. Has there been any surprises for you, Coach, that maybe like either players or games that maybe you either played really well in or a player played really well that kind of was like, okay, like I didn't really see that maybe being there, but if that stays like playing like that all year, like we're going to have a pretty good shot of being really good.
So when we first started this season, we all knew we had some new people to the program. We were going to be young. We got the skill. We just don't have the veterans part of it on the game plan. The last few games we came out, first couple games we came out, we played tie non-league, which was 7 days into practices. So that was pretty much, I should have put it as a scrimmage and not a non-league, but it is what it is. Then we came out and played Whitehall. So it was an eye-opening when we lost to them. And then everybody started buying in, and we're starting to work harder at practice. Every game, there's a highlight of somebody new. McKenzie, on the other hand, dropping 8 threes in a game isn't very normal, I guess I should say, which motivates the rest of my crew. Audrey Fisk ended up stepping up in the Lake George game. She's only, 5'7", 5'8", as my post player. She ended up putting 20 points up, 14 rebounds against them.
She's also averaging a double-double right now.
Double-double every game. And just everybody stepping up when I need them to. Bryn Tyler in the beginning of the season hit some great shots for us because they were double guarding McKenzie and Kaylin. They've all chipped in where they needed to, which is nice. So every game, it's hard to tell who's going to be the one. But it seems like every game they're all doing it, which makes my job so much easier and so much fun.
It's a question I'm going to actually defer to McKenzie on for a quick second here because I got used to seeing you guys for a few years there for at least the Class D finals. It seemed like Every time I turn around, oh, it's a Class D final. Oh, there's Hartford. All right, that makes sense. Last year was a little different though because it ended up being Northville and Gibbons. Northville, I mean, we know what Northville is, and then Gibbons, they just had so many seniors that had, kind of looking for a little bit of retribution in a way, trying to get to just the Class D final last year. But all in all, there's between yourself and Caitlin, there's a lot of experience, especially going back to 3 years ago, being to the state Final Four. How much do you feel like that the experiences that you have had so quickly when you were in varsity as an 8th grader and as a freshman, how much do you feel like that's helped you maybe kind of, make the younger kids on the team understand the expectations that they have, that the team and the program overall has coming in, just given, the amount of success that the Tanagers have had the last few years?
Well, I think comfort on the team is a huge deal, like huge factor. So like when they first come up, we get all friendly and stuff with them. But during practices, we kind of, I don't want to say put the hammer down, but like we kind of are aggressive towards them so they know what they're going to experience and not just walking in on it. We also we kind of make sure they are aware of like how things work on our team, like who says what we're wearing for the game or something like that, like stuff like that. We kind of make them aware of how we run the team, I guess.
Yeah, so, and do you have like, are you a more vocal leader, or are you more like quiet leader, or is it something like where you're not afraid, like, listen, I'm going to tell you how it is. If you don't like it, like, you're going to have to determine that you're just not going to like it.
I'm going to tell you how it is.
True story.
Is Dad to blame for that at all? Like, I've heard Dad will tell you how it is too. I've seen you come out of games and be like, listen, you're not playing your best, but he'll let you know that you're not playing your best. Then you'll go back in and hit 4 or 5 threes. So it's tough. So just looking at the rest of your schedule for the rest of the way, you have Scroon Lake coming up, Fort Ann, Corinth, and then you have a non-league game, which it seems that you guys maybe every year put Northville. Is that just a game that is kind of like an unspoken rule, like, hey, we're going to play you every year? It's just a matter of time.
So Northville is a new one for us this year.
Okay.
Jim Zulo, I've known since I was in high school myself.
Yep.
When he was coaching down at Shen, when I was playing for Indian Lake, we used to be able to go down to his practices and watch how he did it, or whatever. So it was, and then granted, where I grew up, he was living up there too. So I've known him for a long time. He's a great coach. So I saw him last year and I said, hey, let's get a non-league on the schedule. Let's try to do it every year. And it worked out. So we're going to try to continue that just so we can keep going. And I want to see him before I see him in the finals, hopefully.
That's what I said. We were talking about before. I was like, 5 o'clock game on a Monday. I was like, that might be interesting. We might have to take a trip out to Northville to watch that one.
Yeah, that should be a good game. I know they're tough. They have 7 seniors on his team that all play very well. And again, he's a great coach. So hopefully I can put something together to shake a win out of it.
For sure.
Did I just hear
If
Brian
not,
Capitula say something about coming out my way? What is this?
I'm not even sure where Northville is. I'll Google it and I'll get in the car, and wherever I end up, I end up.
Cap, just come to where I am in Amsterdam and then head north.
Just keep driving.
Basically what I do.
That's why it's called Northville. That's makes sense.
You're
Just
so
make sure you're on the right side of the lake.
yeah, yeah. That's fair. McKenzie, I know that you've been playing your AAU ball. At least recently, you have been playing with Cap City Scrappers, a program that I know new Greenville head coach Bobby Shields is a part of. During your time with the Scrappers, is there any particular coach that's stood out for you that you've had that's really helped you with developing your game on the side, or any other? Is there any players from other schools that you've kind of bonded with that have been helpful with you and your game?
I've definitely bonded with 2 players from Mayfield Abigail Powers and Bree. I don't remember her last name.
Oh, Iannuzzi, I think it is.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I also bonded with
Allie Kelly
yeah.
from Bolton, Ellie York from Warrensburg.
Yeah.
What were the other ones? I don't remember.
We had a lot of people on our team.
Do you feel like that experience that you had, like, did that help you coming into this season?
Yes. Like, traveling for AAU is such a different level than it is just here. Like, our local tournaments, there's obviously some competition, but when traveling, you see amazing teams. Like, yeah, definitely helped me.
And it's fun sometimes just to sit there and watch the games too. Yeah. Like, you watch the other teams play on the other. You're like, all right, those kids are this is my age too. You got like a 6'4" girl from Texas. You're like, okay, well, maybe that kid's a little big for me, but.
There was a couple teams that I know that we played against were the South Carolina Gamecocks AAU promotion team.
Yep.
We saw them; they were legit. The UConn had a program there from one of their assistant coaches, which we played against. That was just seeing, like you said, seeing the different levels, seeing the different coaches. It's amazing. You get a lot of talent around here and great experience. But when you get out of this state and see some of the other stuff that's out there, it's like, it's eye-opening.
For sure.
Now, I know Cap mentioned a few minutes ago about getting Northville on the schedule, Coach. But, just in general, the Adirondack League, it's a bit unique from the other Section 2 conferences, and the most obvious being the geographic disparity, essentially, more or less. It's obviously the most northern part of Section 2, which means you get to, the easiest way to do things to fill a schedule is basically tag team with Section 7 or Section 10. All in all, have you ever found difficulties trying to fill out a schedule, whether it be with other schools from like Section 7 or 10 or just in general with Section 2 schools? Because call me crazy, I can't think of a whole lot of schools that would be, say, in the immediate Albany, Schenectady, Troy area that would want to come up and play, in the Lake George, Hartford, Fort Edward area on a random Tuesday night. Have you ever come across those difficulties while filming?
Actually, Section 7, like I said, we usually play Scroon Lake twice a year. It's an hour, a little over an hour from us. That one, we never have an issue. It's a guarantee every year. Ty's not that much further, so that was an easy one. Crown Point was a new one this year. Reached out, they were right about it. I had Loudonville Christian on our schedule in the beginning. They said they were going to have a team, all about it. And then all of a sudden they flopped the switch, said they didn't. So that ended up putting the wrench in our little bit of a program, but that's why I grabbed our game Tuesday against Fort Ann as a non-league because they needed one extra game, plus to give my JV another game.
Sure.
So overall, scheduling my non-leagues, it hasn't been terrible. I'll be honest with you, this year I've had more being involved with Cap City and stuff in the last summer coaching. I have a bunch of those coaches now from down that way reaching out, wanting non-leagues for next year. So it's going to get quite interesting. I know our boys program went and played at the Impact last Sunday against Hoosick Valley, I think it was. Mm-hmm. So we do have some other people that are reaching out, wanting games against us now. Hawthorne Valley, sorry. So honestly, the non-leagues aren't that hard, really, as long as you are active and you put an email out. Usually you get them immediately.
Sure. Now with you guys in the remainder of the season that you do have, you have 6 games left. Out of those 6, 4 of those are on the road, with 2 home games left. Is there anything that you and McKenzie, you can answer this. Do you enjoy playing on the road more? Do you enjoy being home more and making it easy? Or is it something like, because I'm sure those bus trips aren't like a quick 5-minute ride to any of those schools. So, like, is that something that you enjoy getting on the bus and kind of having that, or is it something you'd rather have home games every time?
No, I like home games. They're so much easier to like just go settle down before the game, not having to go on a bus because the bus makes people tired. So then, like, usually when we get there, we're like dead.
Yeah.
So home games are so much easier to get hype. It's great.
Don't get it wrong. They like their own music.
We complain about it every single time.
Cap isn't a big bus ride fan either, especially when it goes all the way to Potsdam. But that's neither here nor there. Cap, do you want to share that story at all, or do you want me to leave it alone?
No, I'll take a bus to Potsdam if it means that we're in the state tournament. That's the only that I can't.
I'll take that.
Right, I can't complain about that. It's just that bus ride, and I can't complain because I'm sure they have the same bus rides through towns and through then through mountains along lakes, and you're just I'm going to throw up if we keep going. So stop here. I'll walk the rest of the way.
Cap, don't say that too loud. The bus driver might take you up on that. But McKenzie, I did want to bring up something else here too. You're also a volleyball player, from what I understand. When did you develop this this love for volleyball, and how serious are we talking about? Like, I'm assuming not on the same level as basketball because it's basketball, but where did this all come from with volleyball? How long have you been playing that?
I've been playing volleyball since like 7th, 8th grade. 7th grade, it was our COVID year, like our hybrid year, so I kind of only did like a little club thing. But I've been up on varsity for 2 years or 3 years now. I'm an outside hitter. Absolutely love it. Not as much as basketball, obviously, but like I do love volleyball.
It allows you to take out a little bit of aggression, I would assume, when you're able to, because basketball it has to be how should I say this, a reserved aggression a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
But like volleyball, you can just you see that white ball or whatever color it is, you're just like, I'm just gonna go for it, and like you let out all your aggression just on one nice spike, and it's like, whoo, it's like is it kind of therapeutic for you in a way, actually?
Yeah. That's one of the reasons why I like it.
Like rolls over when she's getting a rebound and can't touch the ball. She spikes it out of bounds, but that's okay.
Hey, it's
Dad yells, two hands.
Exactly.
controlled therapy. It's all right. That's good. It's good.
That's funny. So my question is just this is for Coach and McKenzie. You can answer too. But now that you've had, and I didn't know you've had 2 daughters now play for you. What has that dynamic been like, and how much joy has it been for you to be able to coach both your daughters? Now you coach McKenzie, obviously, I think too, a little bit in AAU, but the high school wise, being able to coach both of them and kind of experience everything that's happening really well with your team. They've been along for the ride for the most part too. How has that been for you, not only as a parent but a coach?
It's hard. I've actually coached 3 of my daughters up through. I had my oldest daughter I wasn't able to do in high school. Okay. I was the JV coach at that point. So I've been involved with them all the way up through. And it's funny because the older 2 say, well, I didn't get to do that. Why are you working with this with her, not that? I said, well, one, I've done this every year, every daughter, it's gotten better. Gabby was 1,000-point scorer last year on her senior year. So you see the progression of them all. And how I say it is like Kenzie, she was in my wife's stomach in a basketball gym. She's been in it her whole life. Sure. We were talking about it the other day. I got pictures way back when my oldest was playing. She was probably 6 years old, dribbling a basketball around the gym during our JV varsity practices. So to see the progression, what she was until where she is now, I love it. I'm so proud of them. I'm proud of the whole team, actually, because they all do what they need to do. In a way, and as a parent, I would like to sit back and watch, but as a coach, I probably can't do it.
That brings up actually a question. I didn't know Cap was going to go in that direction, but I'll stay in that direction for a hot second because Cap and I have a very good friend of ours that has his daughter as a senior on his team. And for all intents and purposes, from the sounds of it, when she's gone after this season, he's gone. He's done. He's done coaching. Obviously, you still have another year of McKenzie next year. Has the thought crossed your mind at all about whether or not you're going to stick around and coach without any of your daughters? Now
that's $1 million question right now. I've got tons of people asking me that. I do have a couple of girls that are on the team that have been with me all the way up through. So I'm saying that I'm probably going to hang out for a little bit longer. I can't guarantee how long, but I'm going to at least stay a couple more years.
You got to watch McKenzie play in college too. That's
where I've got to watch too.
Yeah.
Depends on where she goes, is where it's going to make and what her schedule is. But I'm going to say at least a couple more years.
And here's a funny question for you, because I know you just asked about music and everything like that. But so McKenzie, if you guys are having practice, and I don't know if your practices are, and you can kind of tell me, but if your practices are kind of more like music and fun and upbeat and things like that, or a quiet gym, but would that ever be allowed to like control the music for practice, or would that be just an absolute no?
We usually do the music, and I don't know. It's kind of really fun. It's a fun practice.
She's in control of it.
Yeah. I get the music control.
All right. All right. Hold on.
The only difference I'll say is when they start screwing up and start misbehaving a little too much, the volume does get cranked right down to nothing.
Sure.
All right. Hang on. All right.
I agree with that.
Jason. It sounds like you're deferring to McKenzie a lot here. It seems like.
She's a veteran. She's a 4-year varsity player at this point. She knows the deal. You you get the punishment.
I mean, I was gonna say, like, is this just learning from being married and having 3 daughters come through your household? It's just like just defer to the woman and keep your mouth shut, like you
Pretty
said.
much. Unless they misbehave or run their mouths or whatever, then you have control. Then you take over. They get it back. Then they get the permission to move on.
And he just said his first 2 daughters. Why didn't I get that? He worked the kinks out with the first 2, and now he's
exactly.
Oh, goodness gracious!
Hey, she's right now averaging 8. This one's 18 plus points a game. I can't say anything. If it's working, I can't change it.
Right.
All right. So I have to address another kind of therapy I feel like exists for McKenzie real quick, because I'll just put it out there. Life around the Hartford school district is a little different than for me living in the Amsterdam school district, and Cap being, coaching in Albany and living in the Rotterdam school district. Talk a little bit about the horse and the dog that I've been seeing about. Let's talk a little bit about the animals around the household. How much I was, animals are just wonderful, and they bring all kinds of happiness. How therapeutic is that for you? When you are home, and especially let's say you come off a tough loss that you just want to. You might want to punch a hole in the wall, but instead you just go and cuddle with the dog a little bit. What's that like for you?
Well, my horse overall is sweet. Sometimes he's kind of mean, but usually I ride him like on the weekends, like when I have free time. And usually until high school rodeo is starting up again, I'm just kind of riding whenever I have time. But it will become more frequent once high school rodeos, it's coming to high school rodeo season, because I actually want to do good. The dogs overall do not go near me. Sometimes they do. like, okay, so half the time when I'm upstairs, sometimes I'll give them a few pets or whatever, but like then there's no more.
But have you done something to scare the dogs, or are they just
No, it's just half the time I'm downstairs and they don't really follow me.
oh, so you're just like a foreign entity within their geography, basically.
Yeah. I have a cat though. Her name is Nala and I love her and she's my emotional support.
All right. Okay. All
I'm
right.
sure the dogs at some point, like I'm sure, I don't know the whole thing, but I'm sure it was, Dad, we need to get a dog. We need a dog. I'll take care of it. I'll walk it. And now he's in charge every second of the dog.
Pretty much. It's just like the horses. We had horses 10 years ago. We got rid of them because we were doing AAU. We were traveling. We were doing sports. Everything, didn't have time. 2 years ago, they go, hey, we want horses again. We'll take care of them. We'll feed them. We'll water them. We'll do it all.
Nope.
That lasted less than a month. But my thing is, everybody knows you play a sport 365 days a year, you're going to get burnout.
Sure.
Unfortunately, she got into the horses. She's into the high school rodeo now. She loves that. It gives her a break from that. It's a reprieve. It refreshes her. So when she comes back to basketball, she's a total different person. Instead of, oh, I'd have to go basketball again. Oh, I got to do this.
Right.
So it makes it a lot nicer and a lot easier. And I think that's a little bit of, I can say for her success is it keeps her mindset when she's not playing. And then when she gets back into it, okay, it's time to go to work.
Sure.
So
I love that.
Maybe we solved the dog issue. They're just jealous you give so much love to the cat.
pretty much.
Probably.
They're like, what's this? What's this? Where's my love? Come on. Basically what it is.
What kind of dogs are we dealing with too? Big dogs, little dogs?
We have 4 dogs.
And all different sizes.
Yeah. We have a Yorkie, a Lab, a German Shepherd, and a Beagle.
So all over.
Yeah.
I'll stick with the little ones. Thank you. I'm a wuss when it comes to the bigger dogs. Like, I don't know. All right. So there is a closing segment of questions I'm going to get into in a second, but there's one last thing I have to ask McKenzie about. Although the high school rodeo thing kind of, I think, teaches me where this is going. Explain to me the concept of cowboy prom.
So it's at a high school rodeo event final, and after our whole rodeo day is done, we get all dressed up and we take pictures and we basically have our own little high school dance, I guess.
Your high school prom.
Yeah, it's like that. And
Which is all your cowboys and cowgirls.
Yeah. And we go into, well, it depends where it is, but usually we go inside and there's music, candy, food, anything. Like, it's amazing.
Okay. All right. Cap, have you ever been to a cowboy prom?
I have not. We did have a kid play at Mohonason, though. That was a jump. She did jumpers, and she did it all through college. Like she shipped her horse out with her, like during college where she went, and they have a farm out there and had the horse there the whole time too. So.
Yep.
I just thought of something real quick for Coach here. All right, let me put it this way. I don't bet on it a lot, but I love watching horse racing for whatever reason. So I can't imagine that the upkeep and the feed and whatever, that can't be cheap. I mean, what goes into like a regular day of dealing with the horses out there? Because obviously McKenzie doesn't know much about it. I'm kidding. But no, like what goes into just the general like upkeep and care of the horses that you do have?
Depends if you're stalling them or they're out. Ours, we have free range, so they can go in and out when they want, so it makes it a lot easier. A lot of places they end up having them as stalls, which you have to clean the stalls twice a day, minimal. You got your grain, you got your waters, you got your hays that you got to do daily. It's quite a bit, especially especially the next couple of days when it's going to be below 0 with the wind chill. Thanks a lot. But it is what it is. It's something they enjoy. So, and I enjoy riding too when I can. So,
I can think of a graduation present for McKenzie right now. Here's a day in the stalls. Have fun. I'm horrible. I would not be a good father because I would do something stupid like that too. I would think of something really stupid and mean to do for a
Merry
graduation.
Christmas.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, even better because graduation's in the spring. Screw that. Let's make it a Christmas present.
exactly.
It's like the 15-degree weather. Yeah. All right. So we usually, well, not usually, but we close out every interview with a series of questions called Life's Most Important Questions. But I promise you, they are not at all life's most important questions. We're not going to ask you to solve E equals MC squared or anything like that. They're just quick hitting questions. You give the first answer that comes to mind. We'll have McKenzie for each one. We'll just have McKenzie answer first, and then we'll have Coach jump in with his answer. Are y'all ready for this?
Mm-hmm.
All right. All right. First thing I got to ask: is a hot dog a sandwich?
No.
Nope.
Very good. Might eliminate that one soon because we're getting a lot more no's than we usually did in the beginning. Are we team iPhone or team Android in the Johnson household?
iPhone.
Very good. Very, very good. Favorite, and this can be, this might be a little bit tricky for Coach to answer, but McKenzie, favorite opponent to face? And I'll let you do either a player or a team, whatever way you want to answer it.
I don't know.
Or is there somebody like in practice that you have like pretty competitive exchanges with that helps you make, get a little better?
When we're doing our dribbling like stuff, I do like to pick Kaylin because she's more of on my level with dribbling. So that's usually who I do pick for dribbling stuff. But like scoring wise, I'd probably pick Audrey. It like honestly depends what we're doing.
Okay. Jason, is there a particular team you like you see on your schedule and maybe makes you lick your chops a little bit more than the others?
Well, there's always a rivalry that we have. And I'll have to say it. We have fun on it right now. Fortunately, it's Argyle. That's one team that it doesn't matter what sport it is. We always compete against each other. I just happen to be on the lucky side of it and are able to do the beating portion of it. I've been on the other end a long, long time ago, so it's nice to be on that upper end.
All right, when it comes to energy drinks or refreshing your electrolytes, are we team Gatorade, team Powerade? Do we like something different on the market right now? What are we looking at?
I like Red Bull.
Oh no! Oh gosh!
Ryan loves the taste of Red Bull.
I love it.
All I hear is that's a Smartie.
It tastes like a Smartie, like the original ones.
Smarties are a hard choice too for candy. That's very chalky. Last option.
Mm-hmm.
Coach, do you go down the energy drink route at all?
I just go coffee.
Good man. Coffee, yes. Where do I want to go next with this? Hang on. The one person in the gym, and this can be player, coach, administrator, y'all can go wherever you want with this. One person you would not trust running the music for practice. Oh, this is a deep thinking question from
She
McKenzie.
pointed already. She pointed to Dad.
She pointed at me.
Oh, I missed that. Oh, okay, all right. Well, is it just a more eclectic taste than what you're used to?
He's gonna play some old school stuff when
Absolutely.
Was music, right?
AC/DC, some Motley. Absolutely.
What's wrong with that?
Exactly.
because
What's
like
wrong with the little kickstart my heart? What's wrong with that?
Actually understand the words that were being said.
Exactly. And that's the problem.
Thank you.
stuff.
The new stuff that you can't understand because the bass is so goddamn loud.
Sometimes.
Right. The only reason that everyone knows the words to the song because everyone's precious TikTok. But thank God
Exactly.
thank God that's back. That we had an eruption in our we thought we were going crazy yesterday walking back after our game, and they were just excited TikTok was back.
Yeah.
Oh,
That was
Cap,
her yesterday afternoon too.
Crazy.
Cap, you're gonna kill 2/3 of our fan base saying that about TikTok. Relax. Jeez, God almighty. Although I will say this, at least never mind. I'll leave that alone. If I say that, that'll get me in trouble now. All right, McKenzie, I'm gonna hone in on this one for you. Favorite when you're off season, what's your favorite cheat meal or go to naughty food? I guess that sounds weird, but yeah.
Chipotle.
What is it with Chipotle?
Cheating though, that's not like there's no cheating anywhere that you go. You can get like pancakes with like syrup on them and like whipped cream and candy. Everyone
don't
says
manage my food. I eat what I want when I want.
What? Oh, okay. I see what this is going back to what we just talked about, Jason. Okay, all right.
Again, if it's working, why change it?
Right. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. You're right. Okay, I get it. Okay. This is another one kind of McKenzie focused here. If you could steal a certain skill from one player, it could be a teammate, somebody you face on a regular basis. If you could steal that skill from someone, who would it be and what skill would it be?
She graduated, so I would take Emily Digman's height and her Euro ability.
It's a good one.
That is a very good one because I remember Emily Digman. That's a good one. That's a very good one.
I didn't even think about that.
That's exciting.
Which that's going to bring me to a follow-up question to end everything, but I'll come back to that. That's going to be for Coach. So,
Oh boy.
last thing for both of you. You're on a deserted island. You get to pick two people to help you get off that deserted island and get back to civilization. Who are you picking to help you out and why?
Him and my sister.
I was going to say, be very careful with your answer, McKenzie. Very careful.
Do you
Very
want to
good.
name the sister or
What?
any certain sister?
Yeah, the one that lives next door to us because she would make it lively and interesting.
That's for sure.
Coach, where you go with this?
No, Dan's on the island with two of the good. That's not gonna
I'm
happen.
on the island with two of my daughters. As long as I have food and water, dude, we'll have fun.
He's probably swimming off the island. He's leaving you two.
I'm leaving. See you later.
He'll
Or I
figure
can make a
out-
phone call to Trump to somebody. Come get me.
So he might say you two. His answer might be you two, so he'll just swim off the island himself.
Exactly.
Get sick of it. Yeah, we need Chipotle. Listen, you're like miles away from a Chipotle. I don't know what to tell you.
I don't know where to plug in my phone.
Yeah, that would be the number one issue right there.
There's no internet.
I'm leaving that one alone. There was one because McKenzie brought up Emily Dingman, but I want to bring up a past player to wrap this up because it's the name that is synonymous for me in my brain when it comes to Hartford, just because there was just like a certain toughness to her that I couldn't explain ever to anyone if I had a conversation about her. I don't know if you know where I'm going with this, but I'm pretty sure she was on your team 3 years ago when you made the state semifinals. And I want to say she graduated maybe last year. Don't quote me. I'm not sure. I got asked about Alonda Dundee. I have to.
We just said who it was.
Yeah, we're like,
Because I don't know. I can't put my finger on it. I can't explain it. It's just she just had I guess the best way to put it, like a honey badger kind of thing. Like just put your head down and just like go after it. I can't explain it. Like, what was the relationship like between the two of you? Because there seemed to be almost maybe too much of similarity between the two of you in a way. Like, what was that like with you and her?
I loved it, especially when we were doing defense where we can trap in the corner. me and her, I have a picture of it. We were literally like towering over the girl because she was shorter, and we were just towering over her. It was the funniest picture ever. I loved how feisty she was down low because I knew if I passed her that ball, she would grab it. I knew or we had this thing where if her player was on her like tight and knowing they would jump over her to get a foul call, I would just give it to her and let the girl jump over.
So Lano had a mindset. She was one of my original kids that started in 4th grade all the way up through. So I had the privilege to coach her all the way from youth commission to travel to high school career. She's actually still playing in college at this point. You give her something to work on, and she will not stop trying to figure out how to finish with it. Her mindset was, you give me something, I'm going to do it. There's games I yelled at her for stupid little things that she wasn't doing, and all of a sudden it was like a light switch. So everything came in line. No matter what you asked of her, she would do it. Run through the brick wall. Sorry for the brick wall, but she's going to hit you. That, and if there was a loose ball, she was going to get it. If it was on the floor, in the air, going out of bounds, she was all about it. The dedication was there. It's like I said, if you have kids that buy in, that's what you want. And she was one of them.
Yeah, that pretty much sums it up. I appreciate you finding the words because I wasn't able to find the words. But yeah, I mean, she just like anytime like McKenzie's going to become part of that for me too. But like, you know, whenever you think of certain schools, there's usually like a couple kids that come to mind, and the first one every time somebody mentions Hartford, no offense, McKenzie, Alana's the first one I think of. But,
I think you're starting to take over though.
yeah, she's
Making a name for yourself.
She's getting there. She's doing all right.
Just don't tell her that yet, Dad. That's all.
It's hard when she ends up getting the highlight reels from Huddle and all that. Ooh, look at this one. Sent to the field level. Sent. And it's just like, then, I didn't get one today. Why didn't I get this? I don't know. I'm not the one making it. I had this many points. I had this many. Get a hold of them and ask them.
Come on, McKenzie. You should know about this. It's all about algorithm at this point. Come on. TikTok algorithms, YouTube algorithms. It's all, you know.
That's what I said to her. I said, they didn't like the one you made. Make it yourself.
Yeah, exactly. Hartford Tanagers head coach Jason Johnson, junior McKenzie Johnson. I loved having you guys on because I've been thinking about it for a while, and just be great to have you guys on. I really appreciate it, especially on a holiday, taking some time to step aside and get away from the horses and the dogs that hate McKenzie. So it's great to have you guys on. Thank you very much.
Thank you for having us. You caught us on a good day because now we have to get ready to go to Screw and Lake for tonight. So I appreciate both of you having us on.
Absolutely. Good luck. And I'll just say it now. I'll see you at Hudson Valley when the Class D semis roll around.
We're hoping. It's going to be like you said earlier, we're second right now according to the seating breakdown. So it's going to be Northville, us, unless I can take them out, which hopefully I'll be able to do in a week, and Spa Catholic. So it'll be one of us three.
All right. Well, thank you very much, guys.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Enjoy the rest of your day and good luck tonight. All right.
Thanks.
Yeah, bye.
All right. That was Jason Johnson and McKenzie Johnson from Hartford. Yeah, man. I mean, that's Adirondack League, man. It's a rough and tumble sort up there, and they definitely have the right mindset to go and get the job done. All things considered going forward.
Is a tanager a bird, by the way?
Yes, it is. It's kind of like a cardinal.
That's what I saw. That's why I looked at that. That's why I'm like, oh, they're red, so it's got to be some kind of red bird. So
yeah, it's kind of like a cardinal in a way, basically. Yeah. Trust me. First year I had to announce for them when they were in the Class D bracket for Section 2. I was like, the hell is a tanager? Yeah, I'm with you. It's all good. Real quick, just want to touch on a couple of highlights here. First off, I'm sure I'll touch on with Jeff during episode 41 when we record that. But you just had an eventful weekend, 3-3. You took care of things against LaSalle Friday. Then you had a tough loss on Saturday to Aquinas, which was, that another step up game for you. They're one of the top 5 or 10 teams ranked in AA. Real nip and tuck, had a chance to win it at least tie it in the final minute. And then you go and turn around and contain Maggie Warpus and defeat Shenango Forks on Sunday. So, 2-1. I would assume if that, considering you're still missing Alex Leonard right now with her sprained wrist, you'll take 2-1 coming out of that schedule.
Yeah, no, we played. Obviously, Friday was a good game for us. Just to kind of have a home game, we had a really good group of. The greatest part of boys support our girls, which is great. So they came and made the gym really loud. And Saturday was a great game. Aquinas they're tough. The zone they play with Lauren Green at the top, and then I think it's a Jaya. Or those two kids just athletic, and then they have a shooter, Molly. What the heck's her last name? Molly O'Toole. They're just tough, 3 tough players. Very similar if in our area, and obviously they played last year, but very similar to Catholic Central, within our area, and they could very well play each other again down the line as AA teams, in the state tournament if both teams get there. But and then Shenango Forks, who won Class B out where they are last year and made it to the game prior to when we would have played Southwestern. So they went pretty far, and they have a really great player in Maggie Warpus, and we did a really good job second half and came out of the locker room with energy and cut a 10-point lead down to 1, and then took the lead with about 3 minutes to go, and big foul shots by Liana Williams, knocked down 3 of the last 4 foul shots of the game to make it 4, and just good shots. Good weekend for everybody. Emily Thornton shot the ball really well all weekend. Kira had 3 threes yesterday and shot the ball really well. So it's some people that normally wouldn't have the same kind of scoring stepped up and next man up kind of mentality. And you just got to take it and I brought that up to you yesterday. You play a schedule like this and you sometimes lose, and it's oh, look at the schedule, look at your record now. I don't know I'd rather have a losing record than just games that aren't going to prepare us. So,
one other thing I want to bring up real quick before we wrap up. Heather DeBias, head coach at Colony, they played at the Rose Classic over the weekend. They're coming off a tough loss to Shaker, bounced back, got a pair of wins down there. And yesterday's win on Sunday was number 300 for Heather's career against St. John Prep. No, I know you guys don't really cross paths a whole lot because she's in the Suburban, you're in the Colonial. I don't believe you guys have played or scrimmaged really much at all the last few years, but I'm assuming you keep tabs from a distance with what she does, seeing that you guys have played Shaker before and you guys played Columbia. Just your thoughts overall about what Heather has been doing with that Colony program and what you make of the coaching job she's been doing.
Yeah, no, we scrimmaged them last year in sectional, prior to sectionals, and then we scrimmaged them this year right before our first game. They had already played that weekend tournament. They played their 2 games, and then we scrimmaged them that Tuesday. But she's done a phenomenal job, and her whole staff does a really good job. George, as an assistant coach, her JV coaches, she's really involved with the the Capital District program that Colony runs, which has been one of the best for who knows for 10, 15 years. They've been one of the best, and that all kind of starts at the top with her, and she's been phenomenal to watch. And she just and if anyone doesn't know, her husband was a great basketball player, was a Water Elite guy, and played basketball at Division I level and all-time leading scorers and things like that. So, but some of the stuff she runs and the composure that she shows, and she's been one of the best coaches that we've had for quite a while. To say it, we've had a lot of turnovers with a lot of coaches, either the end of their careers or have moved on to different schools or have just left for whatever reason, she's been one of the ones that sticks around, and she's still with, I would say, one of the better coaches or one of the best coaches that we have, just to kind of learn from. Sit there and watch. Like I watched all their games last year that I could in the sectional run they had, just to go over and watch and see some stuff and pull stuff that they run versus what we run. So,
well, man, that wraps up the episode for me. Because I don't know about you, but I've got an 11 a.m. doubleheader at Johnstown, and it's 10:07. So I kind of, as a guy who's announcing, doing the game clock, and doing the scoreboard, I kind of need to head out.
your head in the game.
Hey, beats yesterday. I felt like I was playing VR without the headset. I had the game clock in this hand, the shot clock in this hand, doing the scoreboard. It was, I don't know, it was kind of weird but fun at the same time. But I'm all for it. Yeah. So that's part 2 of episode 40 of 84 Feet with Cady and Cap. Yeah. Next time we reconvene, we're gonna have Anna Lauenstein and Sarah Gaetano from Bethlehem join the program. So that will be fun. In between, of course, I'll be sitting down with Jeff Moliner to recap a wild week of Section 2 hoops last week. We'll also cover the Sunday at ACC that we were both at. We'll cover, I know he was at UND Saturday where you were. And then just his travels. He was all over the place last week. So we'll get into that to start off episode 41. But hey, don't forget, like and subscribe to the YouTube channel if you're watching this. Yeah, give us a thumbs up on the video, comment, whatever you want to do. And if you're listening to this on Spotify, like the channel and turn on the notification bell so you know when new episodes come out. That being said, I'm Brian Cady. That's Brian Capitula. And yeah, enjoy the snow outside and the frigid weather and the wind chill.
Bye-bye.
Goodbye.